Thank you for joining me for ET Messages from Your Guides. Okay, I have shuffled the cards and we are going to be looking at messages that your ETs want you to have now. And I've got 3 piles here. So I want you to take a few moments and look at the 3 piles. We've got yellow quartz sphere, we've got the rose quartz sphere, the clear quartz sphere, which is kind of hard to see. Maybe if I put it on my hand. There we go. It still looks like the moon. It's just glowing because of all my light. There we go, because of all my lights in the studio. But it's just a clear quartz sphere. And I have it in a little bowl of salt because that's my bowl of salt for my table. And what I would like you to do is just take a few moments, choose your pile. I'll put the spheres up on the screen to give you even more time to look at them and choose them. It'll be time-stamped down below as to which reading goes with which sphere. And let's go. Okay, this is the reading for the people who picked pile 1, which is the yellow quartz. Let's get into the reading. The first card up is the 2 of Cups. The 2 of Cups, of course, is a card about cooperation. It can also indicate a deal, a contract, a union, a partnership. And in this deck, it really is talking about a partnership. So if you've been wondering if you actually have a partnership with your ETs, the answer is yes, you really do. When it comes to this deck, the meanings of the cards are different. They're not going to be exactly what they are in a Rider-Waite deck. The message here is that we want to get to know other people. And first of all, we have to know ourselves before we can know other people. Now, you may feel like you are intrinsically involved with your ET family or one particular ET and feel that they are a guide for you. That's entirely possible. What you can do with your relationship with your guide is to explore more information about ETs in general and your connection to them, but also you can ask them to help you and get help from them about your spiritual journey. And I do think that this is what this reading is really going to be all about for you. The second card is the past. What's been happening for you in the past? And for that, we get the Empress. And the Empress indicates that you have been very giving in the past. You have opened your heart. You have helped others with their suffering. Perhaps you're a healer. Perhaps you're somebody who has really given while you've been on this earth a great deal. The Empress is a card that indicates that you are powerful, first and foremost, and that you can affect many, many people. So I would take this very seriously, that your ability to connect with your ET family is going to have repercussions throughout your community, throughout your life, throughout the world maybe, but certainly throughout your community and maybe your greater community. So your state, your country, not just your town. So let's move on. What is your challenge? Your challenge here is the emperor. So very interesting. Your past is the empress, and your challenge is the emperor. Now, the emperor says that you have to take responsibility. So your challenge very much indeed is to acknowledge your abilities from the past. And the empress in the past does not mean that it's gone. It means that, so far in your life, you probably have been able to acknowledge that you're able to affect people in some way, that you could be a healer who affects people in a very positive way. And that may be a portion of your life that you're a little unsure of, even though you've been doing it. Like you may have pursued a career in healing arts in a more traditional vein. Maybe you're a nurse, maybe you're a doctor, maybe you're a physical therapist, maybe you're a chiropractor. So you've taken maybe some route towards helping people through healing, but maybe you're not sure if that's really where you should be going with this, according to your spiritual life and according to what your ET relationships think that you should be doing. Now, keep in mind that this is your contract in your life. Nobody else can make decisions about this but you. It's your responsibility. So if you want to pursue healing through more spiritual means, then by all means go for it. But one way or the other, the challenge for you as the emperor is to say, you have to take responsibility for the fact that you are who you are, and you have the gifts that you've been given, and skills perhaps, and history perhaps. Now, it's interesting that the picture on this card to me looks like, yes, the person has a crown on, but it looks like they're sitting at the controls of a ship, of a spacecraft. And that to me would indicate that this is probably someone, the emperor is being represented by someone who is probably an ET. Very interesting. Now, what action should you be taking? Well, here we have, this is the Seven of Swords. This is the picture. And in this deck, it is not the thief in the night. It is not the person with all the swords stealing them. It is saying to trust your instincts, trust your own opinions and your feelings. Don't worry about what others think. Trust yourself. In other words, don't let people steal your good opinion, your good word, your good opinion, your good word, your ideas. Believe in yourself. Believe in what you are. And this goes back to the action here in the past, that you are a healer. Take responsibility for that and maybe go further with it, but certainly take responsibility for your actions there. And since you came out of the Empress into the Emperor, you must claim your birthright, claim your gifts, and continue to help people through probably healing. Now, if I'm off the mark, if it isn't healing that you're doing, if you're a counselor, say, and or you're a scientist, or you're in some field and you don't feel like there is a particularly spiritual path to follow, I would say just keep going to higher and higher levels of that profession or that craft, and you will find the spirituality in it. But it doesn't have to necessarily be a spiritual divine path that you choose. You could take a perfectly honorable career or profession and take that to a higher level where you're really helping people, probably even more profoundly than if you were trying to take a spiritual path. So stick to yourself, understand who you are, and stick to that with integrity. And don't let others sway you from who you are and what you can do. And the final outcome is the Seven of Cups. Now, this is usually the illusion delusion card, and this may seem a little off the wall. This may seem like it's confusing, it's illusory, it's not really something that you can count on, but I think if you look deeper, you can also figure out that these things, these gifts that you have, are not things that you can demonstrate physically. You may not have a degree in them. You may not have any training in them. They may be gifts that come naturally. And the things that is most powerful for you may be something that comes very naturally and that you must pursue in order to help people heal. So you really have to, it really is believing in yourself. And if you are, again, if you're wondering about your relationship with your ETs, the ETs want you to know that you are connected to them. You do have gifts and power. And now, if you can acknowledge that, you can ask your ETs for guidance in promoting that, into bringing that to other people's awareness so that you can help more people. Now, let's look at the oracle cards we have. From the Mystic Martian Oracle deck, we have the Arcturians coming up. And I believe Arcturians are big healers. So let's read about the Arcturians. The Arcturians are from the Boots constellation, 36.7 light years away. They are a fifth and higher dimensional civilization and are the most advanced ETs of our Milky Way galaxy. Arcturians are non-polarized and anchor in conscious awareness of radiant love and healing compassion. Arcturians find third-dimensional space and time a harsh space to experience. However, they have the capacity to exchange lower third-dimensional frequencies by alchemically transmuting them into higher frequencies for a period of time. Arcturians operate within the advanced violet bandwidth of frequencies, which assists them to remain peaceful and connected to all. Without this loving frequency, it is not possible to enter fifth dimension portals. They are a gentle, private, and quiet race overall, and are amazing time travelers of the universe, with the finest starships and state-of-the-art crystal-driven technology. They do not use primitive computer-generated technology. They operate and navigate their ships purely through auras and consciousness energy. Arcturians vary in size, some tall, others very small. Their skin colors vary from a range of blue tones to green. They have profound telekinesis and no sicknesses at all. Arcturians have extensive wisdom and cosmic knowledge. The Arcturians were historically responsible for assisting the Pleiadians into ascended awareness during their collective consciousness shifts. The crop circle's elaborate sacred geometry designs are usually the work of Arcturian frequency technology. Arcturians choose to terminate their physical life through agreed contracts for the highest development of their advanced species well-being at around the age of 400 Earth years. Okay, so that's... Oh, there's more. Sorry. The Arcturians, here's a list of things about this card. Wisdom keepers, feeling safe, concerned, coherent, prudent, emotional intelligence, deep, quiet achiever, trial and error, listening, sensible, soul-searching, reserved, confidant and friend, mentor, insightful, rational, and consciousness. So I would say that for this card to show up as your oracle card, first of all, is giving you a deep resonance and connection to the Arcturians. And second of all, it is saying, be peaceful, be loving, be serene, be peaceful. Do not try to be something that you're not. And really keep this card in mind. Trust yourself, trust your instincts, trust everything that you have grown to know about yourself and on your spiritual journey, and embrace it. And the last oracle card that we have is from the Starseed Oracle by Rebecca Campbell. And this is the Great Severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. conflict softening to love. Yeah, so again, if you have any questions about having a relationship with your ETs, that's already been answered. Yes, you have a relationship with your ETs and you need to pursue your gifts, your service to humanity, and ask them for guidance and assistance with doing that service. I think that's going to get you most in touch with your ET family. And again, I'm just going to read it from the guidebook. This is a shadow card, one that may feel confrontational. Don't be afraid. It's here to bring to the surface anything that's standing in the way of letting love in. And remember that the Arcturian card is saying that you cannot reach the fifth dimensional portals unless you are in a state, basically a state of grace. The warring planet of Mars is our constant reminder that it is important to soften, forgive, and find our way back to love. There are many things in the human experience that make it difficult for our heart and soul to stay open to the never-ending source of love. We are all wounded, and our unconscious wounds inflict wounds on others. It can feel like a never-ending dance we can never escape. If we aren't careful, before long we'll see the world as a scary, dangerous place where fear and anxiety roam free. If this card surfaces, it could be for two reasons. Firstly, for you to acknowledge the difficult emotions, situations, conflicts, wounds, and fears that are causing you pain and anxiety. And secondly, for you to find your way back to love. When we're hurt, it's normal to close off our heart to the world, to let the painful experience confirm the agony of separation in earthly life. Soften and find your way back to love anyway. When fear, anxiety, and paranoia paralyze you, it's normal to want to hide away from others and the world. Come out of your cave and soften your heart anyway. We're all innocent children spinning our way around the world. Find a way to see the innocence in all people, especially yourself. And the inquiry is, how are you cutting yourself off from love? And how can you soften toward those who have hurt you? Very nice. Okay, so that's the reading for those of you who picked the yellow quartz sphere. Now let's move on to the rose quartz sphere. On this one, we got 2 each of the oracle cards. So I don't think these have a reversal. And this one, I'll just have to keep an eye out for the reversals. Wow, so this is going to be a big reading. Okay, so the first card is you, and this is the Knight of Swords. So this is a person that usually comes in with rashness, but with logic, with their mind, not in an emotional sense. This is a knight who says, when you win, you should divide the winnings amongst everyone. You should not hoard all of the possessions and riches to be had in war. You should divide them equally amongst everyone. That way, when you lose, it will be that much easier to accept defeat. At least you won't be destitute. It's a very different meaning. Even though this is a knight who is going in to try to win a battle, they are not trying to humiliate the opponent. So that's you, not trying to humiliate people, trying to keep things even and equal and balanced among everyone. In the past, we have the 4 of coins. So in the past, you have hidden your emotions and saved your very rich imagination for yourself. So you have hidden this very rich inner world by external indifference. So you become aloof, you become distant, you become someone that people think doesn't care about other people. And that leaves you stuck in a rut. That leaves you in a position where you're not very flexible. You're very stiff and unbending, but that could change. And now you're this person of equanimity, of sharing everything with uh, even the people who lose. So you have evolved. You are on a path where you have evolved quite a bit in your life. And now we're going to see where else you're going to go because this is the message from your ETs. So the next card we have, which is the challenge for you, is the Three of Coins. And usually this is a card about group work. And I would say that you will achieve your goal if you fight for it. If you really want to achieve something, you will if you stick to your guns. And knowing that you are a person who has come very far in their ability to develop compassion and understanding for one's fellow human being or fellow being, not human being, but just being, that means a lot. That means that you're willing to acknowledge everybody who's different from you and share with them as well. And that you will achieve your goals because you share, because you are a person who can express largesse and generosity even when you've won over your enemies. The next card is the Tower. And the Tower is saying that you are going to have another big change in your life, that something profound is going to be shifting in your life, and you're going to have to accept it. You're going to have to acknowledge it in order to move forward in your circumstances. And the last card here, the Seven of Coins, is all about knowledge. You notice how he is digging up some coins from the earth, but above him are the ships, which also look like coins. So he's ignoring what's going on in the sky above him because he's so worried about digging up these other coins, where the riches of the universe are all around him, but he's more concerned with what's in the earth. So don't slide back into this unbending, unfeeling, kind of aloof demeanor. Be sure that you keep an open mind. Keep open to the lessons that you've already learned for yourself, that you have to acknowledge and work with other people, that you can't exist by yourself, that you're not an island. And perhaps that's what the Tower moment is going to bring you. Perhaps that's the lesson that you're going to come to, or it may be something more profound. You have to keep your eyes open for it, and you have to be willing to accept it. Now let's look at the Mystic Martian Oracle cards. The first card, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to read this reversed or not. So I'm going to look at the meaning first, and then I'll show you the card and I'll read it to you. Oh, I thought they had reversals, so they don't. Okay. Okay, this is the grays, the tall grays. All right, and I'm going to read about that. It says, most agree the tall grays come from the Zeta Reticuli star system in the Orion constellation, though some have made suggestions they may have come from the Andromedan galaxy, which is even further away. Others even speculate that they could be a future evolution of the human race returning here, or an alien race from the future that has traveled back in time. They are somewhat similar in appearance to the short gray, only much taller, and some have a slightly more noticeable nose. The tall grays are lanky with elongated, spindly limbs and an ectomorphic body. They can stand anywhere from 6 to 8 feet in height. Like the short grays, some have 4 fingers on each hand, others have 3. They're not overly strong and have awkward bodily movements. Like their cousins, they too have no reproductive organs. The tall grays have also been associated with the abduction phenomena and are usually described as hostile, bitter, and cold. They also work largely under alpha draconian dominance and mind control. Many are now clones. Some blamed the tall grays for the unexplained cattle mutilation phenomena. Some tall grays are positioned in scientific MyLab genetic laboratories and secret military negotiation departments. They are telepathic, psychic, and have an intimidating presence. The tall grays operate and function in a utility hive mind, Borg-like culture, where individual thought is near non-existence. So this represents obedience, militance, intimidation, structure, not approachable, order, utilitarian, organized, rigid, uniformity. Now they do have um, a reversed reading just of the characteristics, and that is approachable, free spirit, confession, flexible, laissez-faire, non-interference, allowance. So I think with your reading, I think what this is saying is that you you need to be careful. You want to keep this card in reverse so that it's more approachable and open-minded rather than seeing the grays as this, which are very, very controlling. Well, they're clones. They're working under the orders of another species, another race, not under their own orders, and they operate on a hive mind. But then we have the number 26, Alchemy, the Philosopher's Stone. And this card looks like this. These cards show up very well on the camera. It's nice. The Philosopher's Stone, or the Great Work, the Latin is Magnus Opus, was the term for the ancient esoteric alchemist scientists' prima materia work. Magnus Opus literally means masterpiece, and prima materia means formless substance from the universe. Ancient alchemy was shrouded in coded doublespeak, which involved both physiological chemistry of turning base metals into gold, known as the elixir of life and immortality, possibly monatomic gold, which holds interdimensional qualities. Simultaneously, the alchemists, chemists, mystics practiced the esoteric shifting of universal ether essences into energy, hidden to non-seers. The Philosopher's Stone alchemy symbol of squaring the circle is both mathematical and metaphorical. Mathematically, squaring the circle only with straight lines and circles is impossible. Metaphorically, squaring the circle is about the merging of spirit and matter. The large circle symbolizes the infinite macro universe. The triangle balancing within the circle symbolizes the ether, spirit, trinity of past, present, future, life, death, rebirth, body, mind, soul. The material square inside the triangle symbolizes the four elements, four directions, and four seasons. The smallest circle inside the square symbolizes the micro infinite void that links you back into the macro infinite universe. So this is really the card of the reading. So you have been in various parts of this alchemical circle and triangle. You have been the distant, aloof, closed off to everything person. Now you are the more open, magnanimous, egalitarian who is looking for prosperity and joy for all. So you have been on both sides of this coin. And I believe that the warning here is for you not to go back, don't slide back, but look for more joy in your life. Let's see what these other two oracle cards say. And these would be the ones from the Rebecca Campbell deck, the Starseed Oracle. You're the artist of your life, and your life is a canvas. Take responsibility for your ability to create. Earth is known as a planet of manifestation. Your present moment is based on your past thoughts and beliefs. Your current thoughts determine your future. What kind of life do you want to create for the future? What are you being called to create? Reconnect with your manifesting power and align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the vibration that matches them. It's never too late to start, and no experience is required. All you need is an open heart and mind and consistent daily action. If you're not sure what you'd like to create, start instead with a feeling of deep gratitude for all that's good in your life right now. State out loud what you're most thankful for. Look for the good in your life, and one thing will be certain. You'll find yourself attracting more and more good experiences into your world. This card is inviting you to see your entire life as a canvas, and the picture is completely up to you. Color it with your thoughts and feelings. Create the life that you most long to live. You may also be called to be more creative in your everyday life. What have you been called to create? How can you express yourself more creatively? What are you being called to create in your life? Wow, good. That is really good. That goes along really well. And then this one is about healing, deep cellular healing, Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. Here we go. Okay. Your body knows how to heal. Healing is your natural state. Physical and emotional disharmony can be a reflection of how the world, inner and outer, has been out of alignment. If you're suffering from a mystery or chronic illness, don't allow yourself to think you've done something wrong. Today it's difficult to navigate our health. If this card has made its way to you, you're being called to focus on your healing in practical ways, to prioritize your health, to be kind and tender to your miraculous body, to give yourself the grounding and care you need, to put your body first, to nourish yourself as you would a newborn baby, to treat yourself with tender care. You may be called to switch things up with your body or your emotional well-being, to call in a team of helpers to support you in navigating any challenges you may be experiencing emotionally. The Arcturians are a galactic group of beings who have mastered deep cellular and emotional healing. They want you to know that it's possible to feel vibrant in your body and well in your skin, to have your cells return to effervescence and vitality, to find calmness and contentedness, to have a soothed nervous system and a tranquil heart. Here's a mantra for you. I take back my vitality and energy and feel more and more healthy each and every day. My body knows how to heal. My body knows how to heal. Very good. So that is the reading for the people who chose the rose quartz sphere. And now we're moving on to the final pile. This is the reading for those of you who picked the clear quartz sphere, which I'm going to put in my hand so you can kind of see it a little better. There we go. You can see that it's just a clear sphere. And let's start out with the reading. It opens up, or they call it the Knave of Wands, sorry. And this is you, where you are now. And the message in this deck is, even if you think you're lost, you're on the right path. So you may be very confused about your connection to ETs. You may just think that maybe it's not for you. Maybe you've done something to disconnect from your galactic family. But I got to tell you that you're still connected. Even if you don't think you're connected, you're connected. You have a life contract here, and virtually everyone on the planet has some ET DNA in them at this moment. I truly believe there is not one being on this planet that is not the result of crossbreeding between ETs and humans, and also that ETs seeded our planet millennia ago to increase our intellect and to give us more connection to the stars. So you are perhaps feeling disconnected from your galactic family, but they are still there for you. The past, you have the 10 of Wands. And for the 10 of Wands, you see that it looks like a person being lifted up to a spaceship in the light, in the beam of light. And I'll try to get a better picture here for you of this. And then there's beings on the ground who are witnessing this. And for this deck, what this card represents is that in order to realize our dreams, we need to consider the arguments of others. Isn't that interesting? The arguments of others. So we may be seeing this and saying they're being abducted, but the person experiencing this may say, no, this is part of my life plan. I agreed to do this. This is just my method of getting there to work with them. So consider that your perspective may be off, and that may be why you're feeling lost, why you're feeling like you're not quite understanding what the connection is there. There is a connection there. You're definitely connected. That's not in question. The next card is actually the Ace of Pentacles, and it says the profit should cover the needs, excessiveness is risk. And I get this card for someone in every video that I do. Every video that I do, at least one of the groups gets the Ace of Pentacles. Excessiveness is a risk. The profit should cover the needs. So just basic accounting, right? Basic business practices. If something doesn't cover its own needs, you don't do it. And there should be a profit that will cover the needs and then still remain a profit, not a loss. So, whatever you are doing in regards to connecting with your ET family, make sure that you clarify, acknowledge, identify the benefits, the profit of doing it. Why are you connecting with them? Because they can give you something. And by doing this, by fulfilling your mission on Earth, you are helping all of all of the universe. You're helping everyone in the universe. If Earth succeeds, the rest of the galaxies will succeed. If Earth fails, then they have to start over. The Earth, I believe, is a great experiment that was seeded by ETs millennia ago, and this is one of the planets where it is very pleasant to live, where you can actually be on the surface of the planet. You can have a body, you can walk around, you can plant foods, you can eat those foods. You have a beautiful atmosphere, you have amazing and varied weather, and it doesn't, well, now the weather is getting extreme, so it can hurt you, but usually the weather doesn't hurt you. So the Earth provides a classroom, if you will, for people to come down and do the very mundane thing of learning spiritual lessons. In most other planets, life has become so harsh or so restricted that all they have is their spirituality. In many planets, they don't even have bodies because they ceased to need that. But there is great joy in having a body. There is great joy in experiencing the physical pleasures of eating, of sex, of moving, of movement, of sports, of dance, of the arts. There's great pleasure in that. And so we should be grateful for being here on the earth, but also understand that our success is the success of the universe. The next card is reversed, and it is the Two of Wands. And this means that we are unable to see where our choices are, that we're just having a hard time. Let me see what their Two of Wands. Now, if it's upright, it's being unable to distinguish between our desires and the desires of our beloved. But if it's reversed, it may mean that we're being too selfish, that we're not able to understand the desires of our loved one. So you may be, it's similar to the Ten of Wands in that you're being asked to see from the perspective of the other, to see what's going on for the other. And the final tarot card of the five is the Five of Wands. A lot of wands here. And the Five of Wands is when forces are united to achieve common goals, even one wrong decision can put everyone in danger. Now, in the Rider-Waite, this is the five guys who are really playing with sticks, but most people interpret it as a fight. It depends on your perspective, the way you look at that card. Nobody's getting hurt in that card. Nobody's grimacing. Nobody's bleeding. Nobody has a head wound. I really think and some readers have interpreted it as it's a staged fight. It's a choreographed fight. It's a play. It's a ritual, maybe. Now this, if we look at this shows five beings around a glowing orb. what they are doing is they are holding up their hands, sending energy to the orb and allowing the orb to stay suspended, perhaps. If any one of them lets go, that orb, who knows, maybe it would shoot out and hit them. Maybe it would just get sucked in because the energy stops, or maybe it would shoot in the opposite direction and hurt the person across from them or two people. So the common goal, working towards a common goal, is really, really important here. And again, we have several people on the ground while the person is going up in the ship. To what end? To the end of helping for the common good. It's for the greater good that we allow the ETs in our life contract to observe us, to take biological samples from us, to have us help with their missions on their ships, because there are certain races of ETs that a good portion of the population that is left of those races live on those ships. And so they're doing everything on those ships. They're procreating if they can, they're raising children, or maybe they have somewhere else where the children are raised, but they're doing medical work, and they work on us and they heal us. People maybe don't always realize this, but the ETs are doing a tremendous amount of work to help us as well. Now, when I was shuffling the cards for this group, two cards jumped out, the Four of Wands and the Three of Cups, both of which indicate familial gatherings, familial celebrations, joyousness, happy times, milestones in one's life. In this deck, the Four of Wands is saying, don't be afraid of something new. The most important thing is to meet new events with dignity and care. And the picture is very different than it is in the Rider-Waite. It's four beings walking up to what looks like a house with just a few lights on. So they're going to visit. It's ETs going to visit someone. And then this one, the Three of Cups, is three ET beings suspended over water. So they don't even have to walk. It's a beautiful sun, and that's a beautiful skyline. And they are together. They are maybe family, maybe related, maybe they're just friends, but they are together. And luck is a great satisfaction when you can share it with your friends. So very different meanings in these cards. This is all about seeing things from another perspective, of understanding that there is another perspective in life, and to contemplate what the meaning is for others. What is their perspective on these things? And how does that compare with my perspective? And is the truth somewhere in the middle? Or is one really kind of down the rabbit hole in a negative way, and maybe one is kind of down the rabbit hole in a more positive way? We don't know. So it's just asking you to look at things from different perspectives. And then we have two oracle cards. I'm going to read the Mystic Martian oracle card first, and it is the Syrian's Artistic Integrity, Honesty. It's Syrian's A. These are great cards. They show so great on camera too. Okay, Syrian A. The Syrian A beings come from the brilliant and brightest star in our skies, Sirius, the dog star, which is in the Canis Major binary system, or possibly trinary, 9 light years away from Earth, so pretty close to Earth. The planet's name is originated from ancient Greek Sieros, for scorcher, and is mentioned in Surah chapter 53 of the Quran, titled The Mighty Star and Lord of Sirius. Ancient Egyptian goddess Sopdet, and later Isis, was queen of Sirius. Greek goddess Sothis was also of Sirius. The sixth-dimensional Sirius beings are benevolent, loyal, spiritual warriors who bear service to others. They are disciplined, reserved, and have self-mastery of healthy detachment, connection to all, and integrity. They have strong ties with Mother Earth's oceanic realm. They are calm, non-political, watery, and non-confrontational, yet can defend themselves easily if need be. They value honesty and transparency and prefer symbols to words. They are lovers of music, sacred geometry, and singing. The Syrian A beings, like the avian blue beings, live within the raw, law of one principles and practices. Sirian A beings visited Earth during ancient seeding projects and later worked with Egyptian, Sumerian, Inca, Mayan, and other ancient civilizations. Ancient Mayan legend says the Sirian A beings were the keepers of the 13 crystal skulls. The Sirian A beings were also involved in ancient cosmic wars with the Orion Alpha Draconic Empire. Cetacean, dolphin, whale, mermaid heritage originates from Sirius A. The Sirian A beings are a complex hybrid collection of species, though usually stand 6 to 7 feet tall. They have a vast array of skin colors, from brown to very dark complexions to gray bluish tones. Many have large protruding brains on the upper back of their skulls. The amphibian genotype of Sirian A beings have webbed toes and fingers and a diversity of aquatic features. So this is giving you a connection to the Sirian A. And the last oracle card that we have is the Void from the Rebecca Campbell Starseed Oracle deck. And you can't see much on this card. Oh, actually, you can see quite a bit. It is the Void. Stop. Embrace winter. The great cosmic womb. Oh, I'm surprised that shows so well on the screen. Okay. Everything and nothing exists in the void. It's where all life begins and ends. It's the winter and the womb, the fertile darkness where all things originate and all seeds grow. Comforting and intimidating, freeing and daunting, it can feel both overwhelmingly small and huge. The void is where faith lives. The message of the void is to surrender to the unknown. That's a good message for this, right? To allow the fertile darkness of nothingness to nourish the new seeds growing within you, too, regardless of whether you know what they'll one day become. You're being called to surrender to the mystery of what's next, to rest, and to allow the winter of your life to do the work for you, to hand over your control and trust that just because you can't see what's happening beneath the surface, it doesn't mean things aren't at work. The greatest weavings happen when we find a way to surrender and trust that our life is being knitted for us, right beneath the surface, in ways known and unknowable. Now is the time to cultivate faith and allow deep, deep rest. The void often surfaces at the end of a chapter or life phase, when we're called to let go of all that we know and identify with. When you're in the void, it can feel scary, as if you should be doing something. However, when this card appears, it's a sure sign that the most productive thing to do is relinquish control and surrender to the changing mystery of your life. How are you being called to surrender to the unknown mystery of your life? Okay, so that is the reading for pile 3, where we have the clear quartz sphere. So thank you very much for watching to the end of the video. I'm so glad that you joined me. Thank you for liking, sharing, and subscribing. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please go to my website, thecoolcrone.com, or email me at coolcrone444@gmail.com. I don't care which way you book a reading, just contact me either way. The website is pretty cool. It gives you a daily tarot card. It gives you the chart of the day, the moon phases, a tarot card of the day. My blogs are up there, which shows all the information that I use for my astrology videos and for my full moon videos. So be sure to check that out. And in the meantime, I'm just going to say, have a wonderful rest of your day, rest of your month, rest of your season, and I will see you next time.